Let's get to the right card. There we go. Cool. All right. Hi, Jake.
Does this headset setup make my head look round and fat?
I don't know, but I look really old, so it's fine.
If the
Well,
camera
I'm
adds 10 pounds
and
and years.
20 years and anyway. So, hi, Jake. It's Quarantine Edition Part 2.
Hi, James.
Um, we're going to
Welcome
finish up.
to.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry, I cut you off.
No. I was going to say, welcome to Beer
Today,
Protocol.
welcome to Beer Protocol. Today, I'm going to be drinking E for Victory's No-Brainer IPA.
And I will be drinking Devil's Backbone Danzig. That's a nice little porter we had left
Cheers.
over. Cheers. Think.
Think.
Straight out of the bottle like a savage. So,
I've got my current beer stein is currently doing double duty for water right now.
we are going to talk about
James,
we were going to talk about the rest of the Guardians that got spoiled.
So far, in terms of what Guardians of the Galaxy are available for us to see, we can see Gamora and Nebula are the next two we were going to talk about today. So let's go ahead and just start it with Gamora.
Yeah.
So Gamora kind of is our first 4-point model for the Guardians affiliation, which is exciting for me because I was very curious whether it was going to be all 3 points and under. So as our first 4-point average cost model, is Gamora going to deal enough output that she has enough interesting game mechanics and board interaction to bring that point cost to the table? They've been pretty good so far, so we'll see.
I'm watching your camera try to auto
is-
zoom, and it's just bouncing in size in the frame.
I will eventually hold position at this location.
Normal size.
It's
Long.
size 2, long movement, which we're always excited to see because we like to have objective runners, and in Gamora's case, maybe an objective chaser,
She is
an objective runner chaser.
5 health and average.
She's 5 health, 3s across, that's actually below average for a 4-point model. So
Yeah, you're
Gamora
right.
is
it
a little squishier than other models at this point cost. So let's see what she has to make up for it. Her first attack is called Godslayer. I just want to point that out because it's pretty much, it does the standard gain energy equal the damage you deal plus bleed if it does any damage without any need for wilds. That's a consistently good. Also 6 dice, not 5.
Yeah, 6 dice on a
So
basic attack.
Lower defenses, gets a melee attack that is on par with Hulk's basic melee attack
Yeah.
on a 4-point model, but now it can add bleed in addition to gaining her energy, which Hulk's doesn't even get him energy because part of his limitation is being you have to more consider with your energy use.
And
So that's an incredibly good basic attack.
it's a very, very good. It's still range 2. Yeah.
Yep, so she is melee.
She's gonna have to get in close, and with 3s across the board, that means she's kind of a little squishy.
Yep.
Cosmic
Dice 2
Assassin.
means she really needs terrain. Cosmic Assassin's some fun nonsense.
Whoa. It's 4 energy, which is, to me,
Moderately
I feel a little costly. But
Still only 6 dice, same number of dice as her other attack. It has Pierce. Pierce is a great move for finishing off a great ability for finishing off a weakened model.
unless it's
Or you can
Captain
change.
America or Black Panther,
Or they have an ability that triggers blanks for some reason.
yeah.
But in a lot of cases, it works really, really well. However, Rapid Strike is an ability on this one. After this attack is resolved, Gamora may make an additional Cosmic Assassin without paying the energy cost. The additional target must target another character within 2 of the original target, and may be any distance from Gamora herself. This additional attack does not have Rapid Strike. This does not require a wild. She pays for, she's getting to Cosmic Assassin so long as she has 2 targets.
Yeah. Which is, if this is going against the Guardians of the Galaxy, you'll right there have a way to get to Groot. Get to Rocket from Groot.
Weirdly enough, Rocket can still redirect that to Groot. So unless you killed Groot with that first attack.
Still, it's going to be a lot of damage on Groot.
Yep. 2 of these on Groot is pretty noble. Now, the Cosmic Assassin is range 3,
Yep.
which is now the intermediate, the longer melee range. So she is going to be able to hit you from relatively far away with this move. Definitely further away than her basic melee attack, which can catch people off guard. They don't realize that.
I'm actually afraid of seeing this on the board against Red Skull because you have to be within 2 to do his Hail Hydra, and it's kind of terrifying me that it's just like, oh, I'm gonna pass off to this person. They're gonna be like, cool, I bounce it back to you, and you're still getting 6 dice thrown at you.
I mean, yeah, it's a great way to get around a lot of redirection and bodyguards too.
Yeah.
Maybe actually why this is called Cosmic Assassin is because it is a great way to force difficult choices for bodyguard using characters. All right, that is for 2 attacks. I think those are 2 great attacks. For the fact you can hit 2 targets with it, with 6 dice, 4, and with Pierce on all those attacks.
And I'm always happy
feels
on.
like
I'm always happy on any type of basic attack that gives you bleed. I am all for.
Yep. So Gamora's got 3 superpowers. Let's talk about those real quick. Assassin Leap for 2 energy,
which is better than Hulk.
She kind of has the same ability as Black Panther's Leap, where instead of just pounce, it is Assassin Leap. She throws herself short. She collides with their character terrain feature. They do not suffer. Sorry, Gamora doesn't suffer damage. Whoever she collides with will. So that is solid ability, especially on a long movement character. It's the same kind of mobility that Black Panther gets. So it should have her being all over the board.
This one, though, I think Black Panther's says if it runs into a character, I don't think terrain stops them very much.
No. He's stopped by terrain.
He is stopped by terrain. Okay, but it still means if it's still a size 2 terrain, she can leap on top of it. If it's a size 3, she bounces into it.
No. It just says terrain. Size has nothing to do with it.
Oh, so she can't jump over a wall?
No, you cannot.
Oh.
That actually is the same limitation Black Panther has. It says leap, but it really is just pick a straight line. If there's anything in your way, you're going to stop.
Interesting.
Now,
okay.
Granted, per the normal throw rules, if she hits a piece of terrain her size or smaller, she'll remove it. So since she doesn't take damage, you could also use this, say, Hulk's got a nice trash can. You don't want him to throw at your Vision, because Vision is vulnerable against that, or you don't want to throw at Rocket. She can leap into it, remove it from the table, because it was in a collision, but she takes no damage. So you pay 2 energy to deny your opponent a terrain feature to interact with.
I say it's a bad use of it, but, I mean, it is a use of it.
Depends what kind of squishies you got.
The next one's pretty awesome.
Martial Prowess. This helps explain why her defensive abilities, on average, were low. For 2 energy, when this character is targeted by an attack within range 2, they can use this superpower. Instead of rolling their normal defense, they roll 5 defense dice, which is higher than any character stat.
Yep.
So it's high. It's very high. If they suffer no damage from the attack, then the attacker suffers 2 damage.
So also, this is really nice because she's still a 3, but if you have something that says I ignore Pierce, stuff like that, this still gives you way better of a benefit than anything else. And if she has the Guardian special thing, which is where she can take
the reroll.
You can take the rerolls. So now the question is, on this though.
So, Dave, can we go back real quick?
Yeah.
What did you mean about Pierce? I don't know what you meant by Pierce interacting with
us.
Do you just mean she has
more
Pierce. Dice?
It's not Pierce. She has more dice to deal with things than blah. I can't. I'm done.
It was a good effort, buddy. Welcome to.
I had a thought. I had a wonderful thought of how this interacts with something else that I was thinking about, and then my brain jumped to Pierce and how it would interact with Pierce, and then I just completely lost the train of thought.
I don't even know if I would spend the 2 energy against. It really depends what kind of attack it is, because it costs 2 energy. It is not free, and seeing as 4 energy is her threshold for her really, really good attack, spending 2 against every attack can get costly really quickly. especially since your
Oh,
goal is to take damage.
thank you. That's what I was thinking of. All right, so say you have a character who's doing a basic attack against you just to get some energy off of you, and they have something special like Pierce, or on a wild they have Bleed and all that. You could do this power knowing that you have a higher average of getting like no damage done to you. And then this way you're actually doing something back for it. So, like, say I'm throwing 3 dice at you. Sure, I can roll my 3 dice, take a little bit of damage, but if I have
I
two
don't think a
extra,
single character in the game has a 3 dice attack though. Minimum is going to be Black Widow at 4.
I think there's a couple that have base attack 3 or 4.
3, no. 4, yeah. So that's
But
actually
anyway,
a core rule. That's a core feature of the game. Is on average attacks are 4 to 5 dice. So most people's defense is going to be rolling less dice than the attack most of the time.
so what I'm saying is on a low dice attack, this is good. It allows you to actually throw damage back to them if they throw really, really bad. So say like if you're now also if you're going against like say Hulk and he's throwing like a billion dice at you anyway, is it worth the 2 extra power to get 5 dice instead of 3, or just take it and flip the card?
I mean, if it's going to knock 5 dice, it's still dice. Dice ultimately are dice. It's random. You're going to struggle a bit, I think, if you invest the energy in this and it doesn't go your way, it's going to leave a real bad taste in your mouth. That's just part of dice.
But that's just dice.
Now, it is a defense roll, so all kinds of abilities that affect defense rolls still apply. So you can get rerolls from the Guardians affiliation. You can get rerolls from the Wakandan affiliation, for example.
You can think about that.
You can get rerolls from Shuri. So getting 5 dice to play with instead of 3 could actually be worth it, even if it's a fairly strong attack. You're not going to get the counter damage, but you are just going to get a bigger defense pool and potentially really mitigate, especially if your opponent has bad luck on their offense.
This is more to me a reactionary defense thing. It's not something you're going to be planning for. It's going to be, I have a advantage to do X and I have extra power. Let's go ahead and do this. I would not count on this saving you.
I wouldn't count on it for sure, but I would plan for it to try to force my opponent to attack someone other than Gamora. Be like, hey, do you want to run that risk?
That is true.
So I think it's partially there to dissuade attacks against Gamora in the first place. Because if say there's just someone squishier who doesn't have the risk, so you stick Gamora in on something valuable, and now your opponent has to either deal with her or try to get around her.
Let's look at the last power, because I'm still trying to figure out whether or not she's worth dropping in at 4 points as opposed to other people. So we've got Deadliest Woman in the Galaxy. When a character makes an attack, it may change 1 dice result to a hit for each wild in the attack roll. This is insane. It's not an activated power. It is just always happening.
Yep, whenever she attacks.
Which is
so
just amazing.
Gamora is a very offense-focused character. Her defense is interesting when she's in melee, because martial prowess is only going to apply within 2. So against ranged attacks, martial prowess won't even enter the calculation. It's just not going to happen. One use I saw suggested for Gamora that I think is probably not a bad idea is being an objective chaser instead of being an objective holder. Is you use her to hunt down your opponent's objective carriers. Because her offense is way better than theirs.
I've actually heard that's better for Nebula, but we can talk about Nebula. I don't...
Nebula...
What other 4-point characters do we bring?
For the job she's doing, Gamora is competing with Killmonger at 4 points. She's competing with Valkyrie at 3 points.
Is Winter Soldier 3 or 4?
Winter Soldier's 3, but he's not the melee beatstick.
Winter
Soldier is trying to get to a position and post up.
I don't know.
She's also competing with Zemo at 3 points.
Oh, yeah.
So I guess like one question is, why would you take Gamora over Zemo? Because Zemo's going to give you the bleeds. He's going to give you a charge, which Gamora does not have a charge.
No, she
That's
doesn't.
actually really relevant. Her Assassin Leap is an interesting, a good ability, but it is not a charge. So she's still going to have to spend at least one action to close the distance, or if she has the power and they're just outside of her attack range, she can leap to get there.
I could see taking Gamora and Zemo and making them like a power couple.
Having two long movement characters escort each other around the table.
Yeah. Zemo basically charges in, and then Gamora follows after, taking advantage of his re-rolling a die.
Potentially good. It's not a bad idea. I just would think with two long-range characters, you probably have them split up to go cover territory.
I mean, they're good flanking, but you're then taking two. Well, okay, it's good flanking, but you're also running Guardians at this point, and
Necessarily.
they're super low points.
No, I think Gamora, for kind of my thought for the people she's competing with, Killmonger will feed his own rerolls and still does big damage.
Yep.
Gamora honestly might do more damage for Killmonger outside of his usurp the throne turn.
Killmonger's a good lead up. Like he has to build up his power. She is just straight out having that same level the entire time.
Now, if Killmonger has a pile of his rerolls available, then he's fairly consistently going to do damage. However, Gamora doesn't need rerolls for damage dealing. She just needs to roll wilds, and then she automatically converts her blanks to damage.
So let's think of the other way. What other teams does she fit into at a 4-point that will benefit? So, like, say, Red Skull. Red Skull only has Zemo as his big, like, kind of like run-up beat stick.
Red Skull could have anyone. I think the question would be, does Cabal's ability benefit her? I think it does.
I think it does amazingly.
Attacks, especially since Cosmic Assassin is 2 attacks for 1, is you would definitely trigger Cabal twice.
Yep.
I think Avengers would be a really interesting fit for Gamora, because that's once per. The first power they use, is it activation or round?
I think it's round. I think it's the first time they do a round. This way you can't do it twice.
Yeah. But Martial Prowess for 1 is a lot better than Martial Prowess for 2. Assassin Leap for 1 is a lot better than Assassin Leap for 2. Because that just frees up a lot of her energy.
Wakanda?
The rerolls are nice. Again, Wakanda partially works because they can all afford to spend their energy on rerolls, because Shuri can give them more rerolls if they somehow whiff. I think she's just a really solid beat stick piece. I don't think we don't have any of the tactics cards, the team tactics cards that go with her box, so she probably has at least one really good one in there.
I've seen one where you pair up with Nebula. There's one of those.
But on her own, I think Gamora's a really, really solid 4-point, just pointed at something and she'll stab it a lot model.
Yeah.
It's like every affiliation has at least one melee high damage dealer, likely for a form of game balance. So while I'm not sure she would replace another affiliation's melee damage dealer, she definitely fits the role for Guardians, who up to this point have been ranged and Groot.
Yeah, I think if you're going to see like a Hulk on the table, she might be a good person to try to go after him.
Why's that?
The 6 dice with the Deadliest Woman in the Galaxy, and then passing off bleed after, is just good against any type of like character like that, like Hulk.
Well, I just think, I lean to Shuri as my weakness against heavy, scary melee people. Is while a lot of them have charges or leaps to close the gap, that's still energy they have to spend.
Yep.
So if Shuri or pushes can bleed them of the energy before they get to her or to someone else, that's probably still a win.
So I see her being different from Zemo, as Zemo is the like a rapier. He sees one person, he goes for that person and starts doing massive damage to one person. Gamora is more of like a get there and then like a broadsword, just try to hit 2 or 3 people in one turn.
On her Cosmic Assassin.
Well, if she can pull off Cosmic Assassin twice, you're getting 4 attacks.
She could not play it if she has 8 energy.
Yeah.
Because she does, unless she's playing Cabal, she won't get more energy.
I only think about Cabal, so.
This is fair. All right. Gamora looks like fun. We're looking forward to getting her on the table.
I think she's going to show up in at least as part of one of my 10 characters.
Yeah, I think she's a good fit for the Guardians team. She fits that role to play all Guardians.
Now, the important one, Nebula.
So, Nebula is another 2-point model, which I love having access to cheap 2-point models. So I was excited when I saw she was 2 points, because that gives you all kinds of weird, like either discount pointless groups. Models like this tend to be very, very specific on a given task, and they don't have kind of the general numbers that something like Gamora did. So, 2 threat, 2 size, another long movement, which is great.
Squishy
and
4.
4 health. 4 health with 3 physical, 3 energy, and 2 psychic defense. So squishy. 2-point model though. That's relatively expected. Okay. Her basic melee attack at range 2 is strike for 4 damage. So this is on the low end of damaging attacks. However, she gets energy equal to what she dealt, and she has shock when her wilds, which gives them the shock special condition. James, what does shock do?
I have no clue, actually.
I don't either, which is why I threw it to you.
Hold on. Keep talking.
Shock, I'm pretty sure. Because I'm trying to remember when Thor came out with it. This is not a consequence of us being dumb, although it is that.
This is
or a consequence of us not being at our local game stores playing the game.
Keep talking about it, and I'll look it up.
Changes. Okay. So, it's a solid melee attack. Now, getting energy equal to damage she deals is not as impressive on a 4-dice attack as it is on Gamora's 6-dice attack, for example.
Oh, here you go.
So this is not going to be... Go ahead, James.
A shocked enemy loses a die from their attack rolls.
That's actually great for a squishy model. Does it mean she can run up to something, or she can shock something and run away from it?
That's
however,
awesome.
he also has a blaster pistol at range 3, which is an energy attack. It's actually great to see a mix between physical and energy attacks on a 2-point model, because some stuff is just much weaker against one or the other. Like vision.
It's a backup weapon for this.
She gets 1 energy guaranteed.
Yeah, it's a backup.
It's also 0 cost. So my experience with Shuri and with Black Widow tells me that a 4-dice attack, you are not guaranteed to get energy. If you're throwing 4 dice against Captain America.
But this is not if you do damage. It is you just get 1 power.
Right. So that's guaranteed power.
Yeah.
Now, it's short range is probably the biggest knock against that. At range 3 for a ranged attack, you're probably close enough that you could afford to take the gamble and throw 4 dice. Her last ability, or last attack, at 3, is her Sonic Sword Assault. After this attack is resolved, place her within 1 of the target. That's always a fun ability. It leads to all kinds of movement shenanigans or to exposing a target. It is range 3, so you can get them fairly far away, and it's 6 dice on the attack. So this is a solid hitting attack, relatively cheap for 3, so she should be able to throw these out semi-often. Also, on a wild, she'll stun. Stun will cost them an action. It's great. James, why do you think a character would want an ability to teleport within a model and potentially stun it to take away one of its actions as their big bang attack?
Well,
what scenario can you think of where that would be useful?
Anything that you have to pick up something and they're standing near it. Kind of like the Wakanda plants, or
okay.
if you're near a extremist console and you're about to heal, walking up, having her smack you on the ass and then lose an action, makes it amazing, because now you're just reduced to, I can activate the console and get some health, or I can do an attack. That's it.
Interacting with objectives does not cost an action.
It costs power. That's right. So why would this matter? Why would this matter then? If you're just giving out stun, and okay, so I've read this before. I'm probably going to take her in my Red Skull list. Assassin, this character cannot contest, interact with, or hold objective tokens. Additionally, this character may reroll any number of attack dice when attacking a character that's holding or contesting an objective token. That's amazing. That's what I want. I want Zemo running out and taking objectives and being like a mini tank that's helping everyone around it. I want somebody to go run out there and scare somebody sitting on the back token, like Black Widow just sitting back there and just holding a gamma objective, or somebody who's holding the flowers, the Wakanda flower, and is trying to run away. I want Nebula diving in there and just murderizing them.
Which is why I think the Shock Sword Assault is so relevant for her role, is because she just needs to get close enough. So range 3 means she can work next to you, be base to base with you. She's also a long movement, which is a lot of the models that are used for running objectives are also long. If she stuns you, you lose an action, you can't get away from her. That, like Black Widow, cannot move far enough to get away from Nebula.
Yeah, it does remove a move.
What's even funnier is Shock Sword Assault is at range 3. So she has to be close enough. It's like Black Widow's stealth won't be relevant. Now Black Widow could potentially use her counterattack, which would be relevant. But Nebula's next passive ability, she can reroll 1 die in her defense rolls. Additionally, at the start of her activation, she heals 1 damage.
Yep.
So if you do small amounts of damage, Nebula will just heal from it. Nebula is a very weak... Nebula is a very squishy Terminator. She's going to chase you. She's going to hug your butt. And she's just going to keep hitting you until you drop that objective token. She can't pick it up. She doesn't want it. She doesn't care. She's just going to hit you until you drop what you're trying to run. And then she's just going to dog whoever's in her way. Then her last ability, she's immune to bleeding, poison, and stun.
Which is nice, because she's not going to
just... Immune to bleed and stun is actually huge.
Yeah. I really like her. Actually, let me look at the reverse side. The reverse side, she gets an extra health. So
neat.
I'm good with that. I need an assassin character. And she fits that role perfectly. Now, it's terrifying. Go ahead.
I see the word assassin on her sheet. I don't think Nebula is an assassin character the way I think of it.
So
Nebula is very much a scenario character.
Well, so anytime
this is coming from War Machine, assassin can get somewhere, deal high damage to a target, or bypass a lot of defenses.
Yeah, I'm not going to count on the healing.
Fits that better.
Yeah, I'm not going to count on the healing one every turn. That's just going to be extra for me, because I'm not going to have her run away and just heal herself. But so say like the 4 fake Thor hammers objectives. Mm-hmm. You're not limited by how many you can hold. So if you have one person, I know, but if one person's running around with 4 of them, Nebula's going to just run over and just poke them, doing a ton of damage, or let's say moderate to a ton of damage.
That's my problem with your assessment. Nebula is not a damage dealer. Because I remember several games with Black Widow, with all her 4s across the board, just going, I can't hurt Thor. I can't hurt Captain America. I can't even hurt Okoye, who's another 2-point model.
But just passing out stun, passing out shock.
Stun is very...
does a lot of things to neuter somebody holding all 4 hammers. Especially if it's like, I don't know, Hulk holding 4 hammers.
Hulk kills Nebula in 1 hit. It's barely a consideration.
Oh, Hulk just like looks at her and she falls apart. But she's a really good 2-point if I need somebody to just get into the back line and make sure you're not sitting on an objective. Make sure you're not just picking up all the hammers. It's something you have to watch. That's what I want her for. So you need a counter
player, not an assassin.
I want her to be an assassin, but I also want her kind of to be the bad choice. Like, in War Machine terms, it's the flanking unit. You know they're there. You know they're going to pop out. So you have to kind of like either scram into the middle, or you have to plan for the outside whenever it shows up. She's that to me. She's that thing that's going to make you have to think the entire game where she's at and how you're going to deal with her. And if I drag away, say, Widow, or I drag away your Zemo, or I drag away somebody who's moving long, my other characters are getting in there and outnumbering you.
That's pretty fair. I don't know. My thought is Nebula's damage output and abilities makes her really well suited to chase down other 2 and 3 point models. Even with her ability, like against Asgardians, for example, I don't think Nebula matters. Because they shake off the condition, and almost every Asgardian in an Asgardian affiliation can pound for pound just outlast her. Now, if the Asgardians bring along Widow, or I'm trying to think who else is a really great objective runner with long movement who's relatively cheap and it's not part of your main offense. Maybe Zemo. I think Widow and Zemo are the objective runners from the core set who will run out and either hold a point and score or go pick something up and bring it back. I think Nebula's great for chasing those characters. She has the same movement they do, so once she closes in and gets to melee, it becomes difficult to get away from her.
Would she be a good idea to say like on the Gamma Shelters, where they have higher points on an objective on your side, if they run over and are like trying to camp it, she's not going to help you with it, but you know, her just doing a massive amount of damage to somebody sitting there and trying to flip them.
Unless she's using her 3-cost attack, I don't think her damage output's going to be massive.
I think she's going to be annoying to them.
I think it's the target with 4 defense against either energy or physical. I think that she's going to do on average 1 to 2 damage, which could be enough to finish someone. Absolutely.
Now she is a Guardian,
but
do you think her using the Guardian affiliation will help?
No. Nope. She does not have enough attack dice.
So are we saying not take? Are we saying not take her over, say, Okoye or anyone else that's like a 2-point model?
Also, for the target she wants, she could already reroll her attack dice. So I'm not saying all the characters are bad. I think she's great. I just don't think she's an offensive piece. I think she is a counter objective piece. And you use her to chase down on the objectives, or to go to your opponent's back line, or to help, like you said, help force someone off of an objective point. However, I mean, again, Wakandans has really screwed my idea of how valuable a reroll is, because at the end of the day, you're still only rolling X dice.
Right.
You can re-roll those X dice as many times as you want, but it's still die rolls. And if you really want to see sort of like the big separation of damage, it's how many dice are in the pool to start with, because you could always roll a skull, and then all of these re-rolls won't matter.
That is true.
So re-roll a skull, doesn't matter how many additional sources of re-rolls you have. So the re-rolls really matter, I think, a lot when they can turn an okay attack into a great attack, or turn a bad defense into a great defense. And I don't think a reroll is going to ever get you from this roll was a bust to this roll was a great success. It's like kind of like the steps. There was when we're rolling 2d6 in War Machine and Hordes, like rerolls always felt like trying to remember how those were valued, because they were considered valuable, but not usually as valuable as just having more dice. Is if your average was 3, having a reroll on top of that would give you would increase your average by like a 3.5. Would take it from 3 to 3.5.
Yeah, getting more dice is definitely better than re-rolling dice, especially because in this system there is the skull that says you just can't change it.
Right. So I think her damage pool works well against characters with low health and low defenses, because then her lower number of dice and total output doesn't matter as much.
Would this be good as I'm taking a 2-point character and Nebula instead of a 4-point character?
It's really going to depend on the characters. If I already was going to take Okoye because she fits a specific game plan, or I wanted a bodyguard and I had the points left over, it may be worth asking, especially as now it's starting to come out. Would I take Nebula over 2 with over 2 Infinity Gems,
Or 1 time gem?
or yeah, because the time gem is 2.
I don't know.
So 2-point characters are great because it gives you all kinds of interesting list building opportunities. Sometimes maybe having a bunch of 2-point characters just means you have 3 more activations than your opponent. You can do a lot with 3 activations.
Groot's not Groot. Rocket's a 2-point also, right?
Yes.
So
Guardians, 2 new 2-point models. Which, again, I think Guardians are going to have a lot of models on the table, which we'll see play out in real time. How having a lot of models can potentially work against having relatively few models.
So
and we'll see. We'll get more idea of how that plays.
When I looked at Nebula to begin with, I was very excited about her, and now just talking about her and how she fits into things, I'm feeling more inclined to try to go with somebody else. But I'm also looking at, if say I'm running Red Skull and I have 2 points left over, I could take Okoye, which is nice. But if I have a bunch of characters with me that I don't think I really need the Hail Hydra, it now becomes, do I need a ranged character? I go for Rocket. Or do I need a harasser / assassin and go for Nebula? I definitely wouldn't go with Widow now that Nebula's out.
That's true. I think Nebula is actually going to be scenario dependent. It's going to depend on what scenarios you're bringing. What depends on what scenarios your opponent's bringing. For example, you mentioned Gamma Shelter. I actually don't think I would play Nebula on Gamma Shelter because everyone's going to be so concentrated already that she'll be in the thick of it, and I don't think she can handle, because even just like AoE attacks will whittle her down. Like, your opponent doesn't even have to target. Like, Gamma Shelter's great for characters like Hulk and Vision who have these big AoE attacks they can do consistently. So it lets them sort of really take over and shine.
I actually
now along map like Wakanda Herbs, I think she'd be great at Wakanda Herbs.
So
is you can spare 2 points to have Black Widow run your herb, and then you have 2 points to have Nebula hunt the other ball carrier.
So I actually disagree with you a little bit on the Gamma Shelter.
Okay.
With her, I automatically just heal 1 at the start of my activation. She doesn't care if she's within so many inches of the objective. She can be out in the middle of nowhere. She takes a point of damage, start of activation, she's back up to full.
Okay.
So it's a character you don't have to worry about the scenario with.
But what does that get you? It's going to depend on the other scenario, which you can't score points.
If I'm using her as a harasser and I'm like running her across an edge to try to get to your back objective to clear off whoever you got there, or head towards the middle to clear off whoever you got in the middle, you're now going to have to come away from the shelters and start taking damage that way. And there's a possibility I'm just going to straight out stun you, which means either you can attack and start taking the damage from being outside the Gamma Shelters, or you're going to run back in, and that's going to be your turn.
So she doesn't have a push is also relevant.
She doesn't have a push or a throw.
The only way she gets someone off of a point is by knocking them out or KOing them.
It's also
by dazing or
also volunteering. If they volunteer to come after her off the point.
Right. I know it's an interesting character design. I think just because of that, while it does say that she does get her rerolls against people on the point, I'm more interested in her as a counter objective runner. So when there's tokens involved, because if their opponent drops a token, then they have to go back and get it, or at least they're trying to move around the board, and Nebula has the speed and the teleport ability to keep up with them relatively easily.
Yeah, especially
them just to leave.
It's just like with Wakanda Herbs, which seems to be like a go-to for a lot of people. You have to bring it back to the basket. So if she heads towards the basket, because you know where they're going to be, they now have to make a choice. It's to say, well, there's a Nebula there. She possibly could just make this more difficult for me. Or do I just continue on and deal with her in a minute?
Yep, it's something I feel like I need a lot more time actually seeing how she works on the table.
Oh, no, this is all theory craft.
Yeah. She's got great abilities to help her go after this. I'd want to see in practice how it goes.
Yeah. I mean,
So
they're very interesting designs for both of these characters.
Yep. Of course they could always have tactics cards, which enhance that aspect of her. Like we know Gamora and Nebula have a tactics card together.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have it up, so we're not gonna cover it today. But yeah, Guardians looking like a lot of fun. A lot of varied, interesting character designs.
I really do want to see the rest of them and see how they all kind of work together.
Say Angela's outstanding still, and so is Ronan.
Yep.
I think it's just Ronan and Angela left.
Which is weird. Like, I would have thought they would.
No.
I thought they would have released
Drax.
Oh yeah, and Drax. I thought they would release like the rest of the Guardians before they started releasing like Corvus and the other one, his wife.
It's hard. Proxima Midnight. It's hard to say. It could be these sculpts were simply ready first. It could be that just due to production timelines, like for whatever reason, maybe there was trouble on some of the other Guardian models getting the design right, so they had to push it back. Maybe they're just like, hey, it's been a while since we released a villain affiliation.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll push that up because now there's definitely enough Guardians out there to play a reasonably sized Guardians team. Because you could always play a Guardians affiliation and then dump Thor in and be like, cool, I'm at 17 points.
Yeah, it means I got to paint Thor, and I really don't want to do that.
Thor looks a lot of fun.
All right. Well,
okay, guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all for listening.
We're going to go play some Divinity after this.
Yeah. You can check out our streams at twitchtv.com/beard. No, twitch.tv/BeerThralls. And we're going to keep working to produce some content for you guys. We hope you guys are staying healthy, staying safe, and you're still finding ways to have fun with your family and loved ones.
Yep. Please.
Also your friends.
Please be safe. It's as an essential employee, it is very terrifying watching random people just wander out into the wild when you don't have to be out there. So stay inside, stay safe.
Game off.
Game off.